Welcome everyone to our Alfasoft online demo day, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar. My name is Torgrim Sandvold, and I'm the product manager for statistics and data analysis tools here at our Norwegian office. In the next webinar, we will be presenting SigmaPlot, and the presentation will actually be given by 5 presenters. So excuse me, sorry if it get a little bit confusing or chaotic, but hopefully it will go well. But before we start, just a little housekeeping. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the question box in the GoToWebinar panel on your right. We will try to answer them during the presentation, and hopefully we will have time for questions at the end. You will all be muted during the presentation to avoid any audio problems. And please note that we will be recording this webinar, and both the recording and the question and answers from this session will be answered and made available to you afterwards. Hopefully, we will have the recordings edited and published by next week. So then you will get an email with everything you need. With that, I will hand over the screen to you, Narayan. So first, I will just unmute you.
Thanks, Torgrim.
Great, I can see your screen, so you're ready. And please, since you're 5 presenters, please try to help me out by announcing the next presenter, and I will do the switching in the back end.
Okay.
Good luck with your presentation, Narayan.
Thank you. Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome from the Inpixon team. First, let me start off by introducing myself. I am Nurain Riaz, and I am the country manager based in the UK. With me today, I've got Razi Syed, who is the global sales and marketing manager. He is also our keynote speaker, and he will give you insight into all of our products. We also have Blanca Schwartz, who is our EU sales rep, and she has worked very closely with Alfasoft to ensure that this meeting has actually goes on really smoothly. We have Mohammed Yunus, who is the Senior Director of IT Ops and Support, and he will walk you through our flagship product, SigmaPlot. Fred Dixon, who is the team lead of our UI UX. He's going to tease your palette with a sneak peek at the next generation of SigmaPlot. And last but not the least, we have Sirish, who is he is actually the visionary behind the science. He deals with it. And just to give you another piece of information, all of us are sitting in different time zones and in different regions. So I'm in the UK, Razi is in the Bay Area in California, Blanca is in Germany, Mohammed and Fred are both in the Bay Area in California, and Sirish is joining us from Dallas. So handing it off to Sirish.
Good morning, all. I am Surish Tangrala, and a very good morning to everybody from Dallas, Texas. It's around 6 a.m. and a beautiful day here, and what goes for winter, which is about 70 degrees Fahrenheit. One of the flagship investments that Inpixon, I represent Inpixon. Inpixon is the parent company of all of the SigmaPlot suite of products. One of the flagship acquisitions of Inpixon in the year 2020 was all of the intellectual property and development rights for SigmaPlot and SigmaPlot's suite of products from a company called Stat. And Inpixon's history is that of indoor intelligence. Inpixon is a data company primarily, but focusing on indoor data and indoor data analytics and so on and so forth. We quickly realized over our evolution that we needed in the background, a platform that basically allows us to do a lot of statistical visualization and statistical analytics, and for various parts of what our business does. So everything from radio frequency analysis to signal attenuation to crowd management and crowd concentrations and so on and so forth. All of these things could be visualized. So we started looking at various engines that could help us visualize those. And for publication qualities and so on, quality visualizations and so on. And we decided that SigmaPlot would be a great partner. And what started as a partnership ended up as a full-on acquisition, where SigmaPlot became a part of the Inpixon family of products. And the focus of Inpixon is to look at SigmaPlot and to give it a logical growth path and a roadmap into the foreseeable future with significant investments from our side. Glad to, I know that we're showing a very large roadmap. Glad to answer questions about Inpixon, etc. at the end of the call or offline. Please feel free to reach out. But to dive into the SigmaPlot suite of products, I'll hand it off to Razi Syed.
Thanks, Suresh. Hi, everyone. My name is Razi Syed, and I manage global sales and marketing here for the Saves group at Inpixon. I'll quickly introduce you to our product suite. Saves is an abbreviation that we use internally here at Inpixon. It's for statistical analytics and visualization for engineering and science. We have 7 products that we develop and market globally. And the most important, or the flagship product, is SigmaPlot. It's been in the industry for over 30 years, and I'm sure most of you must have used it, if not already, but it's been around for 30 years. It's been developed by getting inputs from our user community over the years, and it's pretty heavy in data analysis and scientific graphing. There are over 100 2D and 3D graphs that are available to be used for the analysis. It's not like a regular business spreadsheet. It's more on the scientific side. It provides you with a lot of graphs. And the beauty about SigmaPlot is that you can edit any part of the graph and go into the minutest details of those graphs to edit it. The other products that we have are Systat. Systat is more of a statistics-based product. It can be used for basic statistics as well as advanced stats. And basic statistics like descriptive statistics, frequencies, correlations, all of that is available. It also has a graphing component to it. And if you want to do advanced stats like ANOVA, MANOVA, regression, all of that is also available with Systat. SigmaStat is an add-on product, or was an add-on product to SigmaPlot, but now it's integrated into SigmaPlot. It's used for basic statistics functions. It's used more for people who do not know statistics but need to use statistics in their research. So it's got a wizard-driven menu, and it's available. It's scientists, researchers, students who do not know statistics use SigmaStat in their daily research. SigmaScan is a image analysis software that we provide, and it's been there again in the industry for quite some time, probably as long as SigmaPlot's been around. We have table curve 2D and 3D. 2D is used for linear curve fitting. 3D is used for surface fitting with 3-dimensional empirical data. Peak fit is used more in the chromatography space and spectroscopy space. It's for peak separation analysis. So all of these products are available on our website, and they can be downloaded. A trial version of it can be downloaded for a 30-day trial. So feel free to download the software, use it, the trial version, and then get back to the sales rep if you want to purchase that. So it's available on the Systat software website. I'll show you that in a bit. I'll also talk to you about our customer base. Sorry. So most of our Saves customers, the customers are from the academic, government, and corporate. On the academic side, most of them are for the environmental science, chemistry and physics, life sciences, and medical research. On the government side, environmental engineering, agriculture, defense, and energy are the key sectors that they come from. On the corporate side, it's used quite a bit in the pharmaceutical industry, but it's also used in agriculture, healthcare, aeronautics, chemical mining, and energy resources. So SigmaPlot being the flagship product, anybody who needs to create a publication quality graph that needs to be presented for approvals, say with the FDA or any kind of government agency, they use SigmaPlot. Scientists use it for their daily research. Engineers also use it for their daily research. Anybody who needs to present a graph, anybody who needs to do a statistical analysis and present it to the outside world will look for one of those 7 products that we have in our portfolio. I'll quickly run through some product cases. On the academic side, like I said, most of it will be used for getting approvals, creating these publication quality graphs that need to be approved by government agencies. People who need to do statistical analysis but do not know statistics, they can use SigmaStat. Students use it most of the time to identify outliers, response ranges, and it's used mostly in the neuroscience space. Most of our customers or key customers come from the neuroscience space in the academia. On the government side, there's quite a few use cases. If you look it up on Google, you'll find like tons of places where SigmaPlot is used. I've just highlighted a few here: air quality monitoring, studying aquatic toxicology, environmental science is a big key industry for us, agriculture, forestry, geological studies, hydrology, and also in biological weapon defense systems design. On the corporate side, like I said, pharmaceutical companies are the key users for SigmaPlot. It's used mostly in the drug acceptor interaction studies, understanding the shelf life and half shelf life of the drug, global curve fit, and then EC50 analysis. So the best part is you don't need coding skills to create any of your graphs or plots. All you need is SigmaPlot, and our motto to do any kind of plotting going forward would be, let's SigmaPlot it. A quick introduction to the current version that we have, version 14.5 that we released in November of last year. There's quite a few enhancements to it. Some of the key enhancements are we have introduced new statistical graphs, the quantile plot, confidence prediction ellipsis, and jitter plots. Those are 3 graphs that you see that are highlighted here on the left side of the window. The other important add-on was that now you can the notebook can contain multiple subsections, which was not possible earlier. There's a whole improvement on the macro part. So there's a whole list of all of the new features. It's available at SigmaPlot.com. SigmaPlot, what's new? Quickly show it to you. This is where it is. It's quite an exhaustive list, so feel free to visit our website, download a trial version, and go through the new features that are available in SigmaPlot. Here's a list of some of our key customers. As you can see, most of the big names in the industry, from the academia, all of them are in some way associated or have used our products in the past. Let's jump into the demo of 14.5. Followed by an introduction by Fred to the new SigmaPlot, which we call the SigmaPlot Next Generation, SigmaPlot NG. So Mohammed Yunus will be next, and he will give you a demo of the current version of SigmaPlot 14.5.
Thank you, Razi. Rihanna has already given you the introduction. My name is Mohammed Yunus. I'm heading support with this SigmaPlot here, and I'm in the Bay Area. 59 degrees Fahrenheit, cloudy. It's pretty cold outside, but right where I'm inside, it's pretty warm. I'm okay. So you can see my screen right now. You can see the SigmaPlot main screen.
Yeah, it's showing perfectly.
Yeah. So if you look at it, the main screen, the most of the people, they're familiar with the SigmaPlot. You can see the data sheet usually, and then on the left side you have the notebook, and then you have the ribbons and all of that. Home, worksheet, create graph, and I can walk you through. So these are all the tabs on the top, and then you can see the groups. Each group, for example, in their home, you have explore, and you have graph, output, navigate, and windows. These are the groups for each tab you can go through, and then you can find all of them. So before we proceed, I just want to give you some initial information. Where SigmaPlot resides and how do you actually launch it. In order to launch SigmaPlot, you can usually go into the start menu and look for the group SigmaPlot here somewhere. You can find SigmaPlot, and then you can see SigmaPlot here. And if I click on this one, you can see this screen will come up, and that's the SigmaPlot main screen. By default, it goes into one of the directories which resides in your C main folder by default, C program files x86 SigmaPlot and SPW14_5. That is the main directory where the application resides. There is another place SigmaPlot keeps a profile for each user who sign into the same machine. Let's say you have multiple users in a lab, for example, and then the multiple users, they are trying to access SigmaPlot. So each individual user would have their own profile, and that goes into their documents. So it's under, usually the C user, username, documents, and SigmaPlot. And under SigmaPlot, then still you have multiple directories depending upon which version you have. By the way, you can keep more than one versions of SigmaPlot on the same machines. They don't interact to each other. You can keep it older versions or the new version. Usually people tend to uninstall. That's okay too, but you can still keep it because they don't talk to each other unless you have some kind of graph created from an older version, and then you try to edit that graph into the same version. Then probably you may need that. So let's get back to the main screen. We have the home tab, the very first one on the top, and on the left side, if I go to, I just want to drag it to the left just to want to show you here because I want to keep on looking on the right side where I have the go to webinar. So here, if I click on the right top, this is our main it's the drop-down menu you can find out here. You can see that. I hope everyone would see that. It's SigmaPlot contents. That's about the health of SigmaPlot, tip of the day. And the main thing for the beginners is SigmaPlot tutorial. So that's where you can find the tutorial of SigmaPlot. And we have SigmaPlot automation and all of these kind of different. We are given also the example data and then the SigmaPlot samples. That's probably will use some of the samples here. And if you can see that SigmaPlot samples, I need to drag it to the more right just to see.
Sorry, Mohammed, you can click the red arrow on the GoToWebinar panel to minimize it. And you can also click home and drag it a little bit down.
That is correct. That is correct. Yeah. So here I'm using this SigmaPlot graph sample and then transform. So this is the sample data what we usually provide with SigmaPlot. I was given few topics to cover, so that's what I wanted to cover. And I would be using some of the example data. Again, I can go over here and then show you. This is the SigmaPlot samples and graphs and statistics. This is the macro data sets and non-linear regression data sets that we provide here. If I go into the graphs, so here is the various type of graphs which you can do in SigmaPlot, and you can, if I open the examples here, so this is the data. You can see the data tab here. It's tabulated, and then if I click on, this is the graph that is associated to this data. Similarly, you have various type of graphs. Those are free given as a kind of example. You can go through each of them. They're pretty interesting, and you can see this kind of, but there's an image also provided on that. It's all various type of graphs, the bar charts, the multiple bar charts. This is the population pyramid, what we call it, and box plot. So there are various examples are provided which SigmaPlot can do. And so let's go back to the very first thing which we talked about, or I was given the topic of. This is the, I'm just going to open a new worksheet. You can always keep an open multiple worksheets. And the way you want to do that, you can go to the left top button, main, and then you can find new in it, and then notebook. And that's how you create a new notebook. And you can see the notebook resides in here. And if I want to close this notebook, I can right click and close here. So here I can close the notebook, and I want to make, if I want to make changes to the notebook, since I opened it, I don't need to right now. So there is a new notebook here. And simply you can enter some data set the way I'm entering it right now. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it goes column wise once you go and enter the data. So let's go back to the first topic, the one which we talked about, the SigmaPlot. The first I was asked to do that. That's Excel integration. So in order to do the Excel integration, let me close SigmaPlot. Again, I just want to show you how the SigmaPlot works. And if I go to, let me open Excel. And here's an Excel worksheet. And so what is SigmaPlot integration? If you go in Excel, once you install SigmaPlot, it automatically puts an add-in. And that's what you can see, add-in. If I click on add-in, and you can see SigmaPlot in here. So that is one of the Excel integration which we put it in Excel when you install SigmaPlot. And let's see if I enter some data here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now I want to create a graph, SigmaPlot graph in Excel. And that's what we call it, Excel integration. And if I click on add-in and just click on SigmaPlot, and then you can see there is a wizard launched within Excel. And that's a SigmaPlot wizard. And this is what I did before, but it doesn't really matter what type of graph you can select, the graph types. So these are different type of graphs you can select from, all the way from scatter plot, and then scroll down all the way to the forest plot. So let's go vertical bar chart, click next, and then simple bar. This is another type. It's asking you what style of the graph you want, simple, group, or depending upon your data. On the left side, you can see the picture of that type of graph you have selected. I go next, and then my data type is single Y, just one Y column. Select, click next, and then if I need to select the data, data for the bar, I can go this on the right side, select this list, drop down list, and then select that data, which is, you can see the cell 1 to cell 5 of the column A. And now if I go finish it, and you can see the graph. So you can see the graph here of SigmaPlot, the one which we created. Just a little, I can drag this graph to another place if I want to, and that's how you can see the graph. So you can see, if you can see on the tab, the SigmaPlot is actually called behind, and that's what you can see. It is actually, the graph is created over there as well, because it is coming from SigmaPlot. So that's why. So this is the first introduction of the Excel integration. We also call Excel interaction. Once you go SigmaPlot, install it, and during the installation, you can find the groups, how many things SigmaPlot installing and where it is installing, and you will find that it's called Excel interaction, which is checked by default, and you can uncheck it. Then in that case, this won't be installed within Excel. So this is the main one of the the features I was requested to demonstrate. I can go and close Excel. I don't need that. I don't want to save this. And I'm going to close it. I'll go back to SigmaPlot again, and I can see my whole screen again. That was the same graph I created. This is the data. You can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's the data I used it. Now let's say so there is another way of opening Excel within SigmaPlot. If you see the right here's the section. By the way, you can have multiple sections in a notebook. If I go right click on a section and then go to new here, and then you can see Excel worksheet. I can open an Excel worksheet and it will be opened within SigmaPlot. So here, if I can go enter some data, and then if I can go and create a graph from SigmaPlot, but you see the Excel is running within SigmaPlot. So this is another flavor of integration. And I can go create graph, any graph I can pick it up from. Let's say line and scatter this time. I can go line and scatter, and single Y is my data type. And it is the column A, and I go finish, and here is the SigmaPlot graph. So you have, so this graph is coming from Excel sheet, and this is the graph. You can see the one which we created. So this is another flavor of integration. So you're running the first one, you're running SigmaPlot within Excel, but you're now running Excel within SigmaPlot. These are the two flavors of Excel interaction or Excel integration. The next thing I was asked to walk you through with something graph creation and customization. Well, this is the graph creation. Already we did that. But let's see if we can customize it. If we want to change the colors or something. If I double click on this graph, you will see the graph properties. That is one of the jewel of SigmaPlot, which will make you work anything for the graph. So you can change anything. For example, I can go to on the left side, you see the plot and fills. And if I want to change the color, so I can change the color of the bars. All the bars would be the same color. I can choose a different color scheme. For example, here, Firehouse, incrementing, spectrum, anything if I want to select. And that will be the color scheme for the multiple bars. You can see that. You can work with the scales. You can double click on the scale, so it will launch this. Right now it's a reference line. Here's a scaling over here. You can select one of the multiple scales provided, log, natural, probability, all of those kind of scales are available, and you can just select the axes on which you want to apply. If it is on x-axis or y-axis where you want to apply, you can select that axis, and then you can select the scale, and just it will be done. It is live. It will be done right away. Right now we don't have the log scale data, so it would not look very good if we can, if we apply that. We have applied it. Now this is the legend. You can see legend is also created automatically. You can drag it anywhere. The legend, there are different elements of the legend you can select also, and then you can select the whole legend, and then you can put it anywhere. I can resize it, or I can just move it anywhere. For example, I can bring it inside here, and I can drop it. And now the other aspect, you can see the title. This is the title of the graph. We call it by default 2D graph 1, 2D graph 2. So you can double click on it and change the title. My graph. Same thing with the axis titles. You can do the same thing with that axis titles. My x-axis, or just my x, whatever you call it. Same thing you can do with the Y data. So you can always go and then double click on that and then change the title. Now let's go back to the graph properties again, and then I get to double click on the graph, and then it will launch the graph properties. There's another way of launching the graph properties. You can go to the graph page, and then you can have that. You can also right click on it, and then you can also launch the graph properties and the right clicking the graph properties over here. Just and also we have the object properties. Object properties belongs to the size of the graph. So you can also resize the graph by just dragging it from the corners. You can resize the graph. There's another thing you can see that it's a size, the way you can look at the graph. Sometimes you want to see a larger graph because the graph is created tiny, and then you can also go to the, this is the percentage you have it. You can change it from here to, usually it's a 50%. You can go to custom, and then you can change the custom percentage also, or you can just go to 100%, and then so the size will change, and then you can see bigger graph. The magnifying glass, you can also click on it, and then you can just drag it on some portion, and then it will enlarge it for you. So you can always go back to 100% or 50%, the way the graph was already created, the way it was looking like before, and you can make it the way it was. I was talking with the object properties also, so you can also right click on the object properties, and then you can change a lot of things over here. Size and position, the way it is explained over here, the line type of the fill, you can do it also over here for the bounding box. So the object properties can be dealt over here. The other thing, let's go back to the data worksheet, and you can double click over here, or just come back to the worksheet by just clicking on the tabs, the way we did that. I can tell you some interesting thing. For example, let's go back to the graph again, and here is your tick labels 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's say these are different tick labels. You want to have A, B, C, D. These are 5 categories, and I want to assign those categories from a column. That's very easy to do that. I can just type A, B, C, D, E. So you can see these are left justified. The numbers always goes to right justified on the worksheet, and the text goes to left justified. I can just, when you move your mouse on the title, it will convert into a different type of, the cursor changes. It's an upside down arrow with a big blob inside. That's how you can see that. And if I double click over here, it will give me how to write the title, or the title of that column. So if I can go to tick label. Sorry. Okay, so tick label, and go back to the graph again. Either go from, usually I have a tendency to going back to the notebook, but you can always go back from the tab as well. So let's see if I want to change. This is all we're talking about, the customization, the part of customization. I'm just telling you how many ways you can do that. So if I double click, pick up any tick label and just double click on it. So it will take you automatically to the place where it's supposed to take it. And the property resides under the graph properties. It's a media tick label. If I go to the type, drop down, and then you see the third, here's a column selected. And so I can select that, and I can apply that, and then you can see the tick labels are changed. So this is the most of the customization you can do. A lot of things you can do within using the graph properties and going back and forth. So the few aspects I was showing you. The thing which I was going to tell you over here, it's the especially the graph going into the right top question mark, and then you can go into the tutorial, and you can it can walk you through a lot of things. You can go through and learn SigmaPlot how to do that. The third thing I was asked to do that was how to do some statistics within SigmaPlot. I think I don't have much time left, but I'll walk you through some statistics. There's an example I can go through again on the right top. Again, I just need to minimize my screen again and go to the samples, and then I'll pick up the statistics. So this is the statistics sample file we provide. And we provide all kinds of data which we use as an example data within SigmaPlot. There was one interesting thing Razi mentioned. I can tell you that if I go to Analysis tab, and then you can see the advisor over here. If you go and click on advisor, that was for the people they don't know anything about SigmaPlot, anything about statistics or sort of that. Statistics, so SigmaPlot doesn't require any prerequisite for the statistics. If I want to describe the data, I ask you different questions, and you can go through that. For example, I want to go describe my data, the basic statistics, or compare groups or treatments for significant differences. Select, for example, let's go select that. Go next, then is it asking you 4 more questions by numeric values, by order or rank, and then it gives you the example of that by proportion or number of observations or by survival time. So let's go with the first one by number of numeric values. And did you apply more than 1 treatment per subject? No, I don't want to apply that. So how many groups for treatment are there? 1, 2, or 3 or more? Let's go 3 or more. Click finish. Then it's asking you, we suggest you to run one-way ANOVA, one-way analysis. And do you want to run it? Yes, I want to run it. Okay. Now this is not the data for that. So I need to go and find the data. So there is the data, as I told you, that we have provided all type of the data in here. And this is one way. And if I double click on it, and I can find all one-way data, one-way ANOVA data. There is so it is actually describing 3 different ways. So species A, B, C, these are our 3 groups. So this is defined a little differently in the size, mean, and standard error of the mean, and then it's defined as index data. This is all same data, but defined 3 different ways, and that's how you can select from this wizard. Is it a raw data, index data, mean, size, standard deviation, or standard error, the way you can see over here. So either if I go to raw data, this is the first 3 columns, so I have those 3 categories defined here. If I select next, and it is asking you to go and select the column. You can always go select the column from here. This is the way you have it right now. Sorry, it's still highlighting the old one. I need to close that worksheet because that's how it is. Now I can come back open here because it was focusing to the first worksheet, the one which we had it before. So I can go back, and then I close that wizard. Let me go back and run over here. I can go to run that the other way. You can go and go to analysis, and then from under the analysis tab on the left side, you can go this drop down list and then select the one-way ANOVA, and then click run. Same wizard will come back again, and then I can go to the raw data next, and then select the data from here. You can see the data. You can either pick it up from here, or there's another way, faster way. You can bring your mouse and then drag it all the way, and then it will be selected. From the first column to the third column, it is selected. If I go finish it, and now it is asking me, do you want to do the multiple comparisons as well? Because what happens if you have the three groups, then the first statistics is that it has to compare all three groups and then just say that these three groups are different, but which one is different from which? Is it A from B, B from C, or A from C? So that's a multiple comparison test comes up, and that's what the people may want to do that. And by the way, a lot of statistics applications, they don't do that for you automatically, but SigmaPlot does it for you automatically, and then it pops up and it asks you, and it suggests you different type of tests, which one you want to do. Let's say if I can pick up home side and then click finish, and you can see the report. So this is one way analysis of the report. It gives you the date, and then it gives you, for example, here you have the various statistics, especially about the group name, the number of members in each group. If there is a missing value, the mean of the group, standard deviation, standard error for means, and here you have the source of variation, which is the ANOVA table. That's what the people are looking for with the p value. And again, you can just change it. I accidentally changed it. I can go to undo it, and then I can change it back the way it was. So this is the source of variation, and that's what we are talking about, the comparison, all multiple comparison, all pairwise multiple comparison, which group is different from which. So B versus species C, if it is significant difference, yes, and the P is less than 0.005. B versus A, that is also, there is a significant difference. You can see the P value here, and it says yes, conclusion. Not only that, you can see over here, the one which we talked about, the difference in the mean value among the treatment groups are greater than would be expected by chance. There is statistically significant difference, P is 0.05. So that's all about the, you can tell right now, this is what the table, and you can go always get it from the data you selected, and this is the table, especially the report which it creates for you. I hope it was not too much in detail. We didn't have much time. There we have a time crunch. We have to present SigmaPlot, just give you some introduction to SigmaPlot 15, the newer version, and it will be over to Razi again.
Thanks, Mohammed, for the demo of 14.5. Folks, we have a new product that we are developing. It's called SigmaPlot NG, and you are the first audience who are going to get a sneak preview of this. So Fred is up next, Fred Dixon, our team lead on the UI UX platform here at Inpixon Saves. He will give you a sneak preview of SigmaPlot NG, where NG stands for next generation.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for having us. My name is Fred Dixon, and I'm here in California, along with Razi and Mohammed. I'm here to show you, I guess it's been called a sneak peek, but a look at SigmaPlot NG, which is for next generation. Our goal in redesigning SigmaPlot was to bring it to a modern architecture and to update its look and feel to be a little bit more like the modern Microsoft Office products. So here you have it. We still have many of the familiar touchstones that Mohammed pointed out in his presentation, but this is all running in a new modern architecture. So we have added a new worksheet which has many of the old functions, but some new ones as well. Let me go back to the worksheet tab. So we've added a more Excel-like worksheet that has things like borders, can easily set the background colors, font color, things like that. But one big addition is it now has in-cell formulas. So here is a list of the formulas that we have. You can add a formula very Excel-like. Whoops. You can copy and paste the formulas. So I added a random number, and so now we have some random numbers generated here. And they regenerate. So this is the nice addition, that you'll be able to do more Excel-like functions. We're hoping that you'll be able to do more of your data analysis directly in SigmaPlot. We have also maintained a lot of familiar items in the program. So things like quick transforms or transforms. So you'll still be able to do your column-based transforms. Right in the program. So you'll be able to mix together the formulas and the column-based transforms. We have tried to modernize the UI and to bring you the things that you're used to. So we have redesigned the advisor. It's a little more simple. You just click to go to the next question. And of course, you're going to have all of the analysis that you're used to. So the report editor has also been upgraded. It now has a property panel on the side that lets you directly change attributes of the selected text. So a little bit easier and quicker to update your reports. And of course, we're always going to have graphs. So the familiar result graphs, well, it's being cranky. If something didn't go wrong, it wouldn't be a demo, right? So let me open up a graph. So we have tried to maintain many of the familiar points that people are used to over time. Mohammed mentioned that graph properties was a jewel. So we're going to bring that forward in the new architecture and try and maintain all of the things that you have learned so far on how to use SigmaPlot. Our main goal is to update all this into a brand new technology stack while preserving the SigmaPlot user experience. And the greatest thing about this is it's going to be available on Windows and Macintosh from the beginning. So to talk some more about that, I'm going to send it over to Suresh to talk about why we did this.
Wonderful. So, ladies and gentlemen, as Fred has pointed out, thank you very much, Fred, for the sneak peek, and thank you, Mohammed, for the demonstration. The overriding philosophy behind SigmaPlot NG, and I just want to take a second to talk about the name itself, SigmaPlot NG. While SigmaPlot NG somehow has a connotation of it being the next generation, we found when we started looking at SigmaPlot that we had two paths of development. One is an evolutionary path of development where we slowly start enhancing stuff in the existing SigmaPlot, or to make an evolutionary leap. And by the time we got done with it, we probably skipped 2 or 3 iterations of evolution to the point of it being a revolutionary leap. So that is the basis of SigmaPlot NG. We have basically taken SigmaPlot, preserved all the great things, the literally hundreds of variants of chart types and graphs with a few hundred combinations of customizability that SigmaPlot had for graphs, and how SigmaPlot enabled a non-technical person almost to non-technical meaning somebody who's not familiar with statistics and is probably barely familiar with using Office products, Microsoft Office products, to be able to go and start generating charts and graphs by preserving all of that, but on a completely modern architecture. We have paid down the tech debt that was accumulated over a period of 20 or so years, and have done a complete tech refresh of SigmaPlot NG. And we want to come to the market with a completely enhanced user interface and a user experience that is so easy to use, very clean, very intuitive, and context-based. While doing this, we have basically started leveraging, or we've enabled SigmaPlot to leverage the modern hardware architectures. So we actually, SigmaPlot NG now is a multi-threaded, multi-core, 64-bit architecture product. And what is really fantastic about it is that it can actually run on Intel and ARM architectures. What that means is that this software that can work on a desktop machine, whether it is a Mac or a Windows, it can actually, in the future, probably in the next year or two, very easily translate to ARM architectures like tablets and iPads and some really high-end phones and so on and so forth. This allows us to bring to market a product with a very high performance index. So we are talking about performance indexes that indices that actually indicate almost exponential growth in performance, 300, 400, 500% performance increases over past iterations of SigmaPlot. Excuse me. Apart from this, the architecture that we have adopted in SigmaPlot NG allows us to bring a product that is suitable for different audiences, for different user types, different customers, etc., and allows us to provide different licensing architectures, whether that be a enterprise licensing architecture with a client-server model, or a cloud delivery model where we can containerize and hand off a cloud installation, to a hosted model where we can actually provide a hosted version of SigmaPlot that you can use literally from a web browser. And this brings us to what our primary goal was as far as SigmaPlot NG is concerned, and that is platform independence. When we looked at SigmaPlot, we started looking at the fact that there is a significant audience that we are not able to deliver our functionality to, which is the Mac audience. So what started as a project to start providing a software that was Mac compatible quickly turned into a project that actually mandated platform independence. And what that means is that not only is the product compatible with a new operating system or a different operating system called the Mac OS, it is actually independent of the operating system. So conceptually, SigmaPlot NG in its future iterations should be able to be installed on almost any modern operating system. And that brings us to the future and vision of SigmaPlot, what drives us to do what we do with SigmaPlot. What is our vision for SigmaPlot and where are we taking it? So as you can see, our roadmap for SigmaPlot and for all of the SigmaPlot products is to basically deliver a SigmaPlot and a product suite that is relevant into the foreseeable future. So SigmaPlot NG and all of the other SigmaPlot products, including the AISN product suite, are going to be able to serve different audiences, allow us to deliver different delivery models, and bring technology down to the level of usability, where you don't need to be a statistician to be able to draw inferences from a statistical model while you're being a scientist. So a biochemist or an endocrinologist or an astronomer doesn't need to have the functional knowledge of statistics to be able to use our products. The vision for SigmaPlot is to go from somewhere around 500,000 or so users today to about 5 million installs in about 3 to 4 years from now. The idea is basically to create an architecture that is highly scalable, highly modular, and each of the modules being able to be scaled horizontally and vertically. What this means is that the SigmaPlot product suite is now going to have multiple delivery modes over the next few years, where we will deliver from the cloud, we will deliver through an app, we will deliver through different operating systems, and so on and so forth, and at the same time to different audiences. So students from undergrads to budding scientists to scientists and engineers, all the way across to horizontally being able to look at different market segments from astronomy to demography, et cetera, including governments that can use SigmaPlot for plotting demographic data. Further,
sorry, Shirish.
Yes.
Time is running out. I think we have to finish. 20 seconds, okay?
Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, the overarching feature, or rather the overarching vision for SigmaPlot, is to be able to go and serve different audiences and to start bridging the gap between descriptive and inferential statistics to predictive statistics. Please reach out to us for any questions about the product, the future of the product, and the vision behind it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to all of you 5 presenters today. So I think we managed.